Couple of examples of things and people, I guess no things, people that you can talk to and how to go about it. So when I go out at night, oftentimes I would take a cab, particularly when I was in New York City. And this was after a long day. I'd be home writing, I'd be doing blog posts, I'd not be speaking, I'd be there alone. And so when I would get to the club without talking to anyone, I'd be stiff. And there are these New York City clubs and they're daunting, right? Not a good scene. So what I started to do was to take the easy layup beforehand, which is the 15 minutes with my cab driver. And so I'd get out, I'd be awkward and uncomfortable at first. I'd say, hey, what's up? When does your shift end, right? Where are you from? They're never from New York. They're always from somewhere else. And I'd ask questions that honestly aren't fascinating or super interesting, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend at a networking event. But because this is, it's a cab driver, you have these experiences with these service people, these doormen, these people in your life that you almost don't even see. When you take this and you use it as an opportunity to practice, not just being charismatic, but being talkative, right? Expressing yourself, using your vocal cords, something funny happens. And it's that when I would show up to the club, all of a sudden I was friendlier with the bouncer and I was friendlier with the line people. And by the time that I got in, I was in a much better mood than those times when I would just sit back, show up, and all of a sudden, holy cow, I'm surrounded by people and I'm not feeling it. So that's one. Another very common experience, interviews. So people show up to an interview and on the big day, they're just in their head. They're like reviewing their resume, what I'm going to say, what's one time that I overcame adversity. They have all this ready and they get in front of the interviewer and they've hardly spoken that morning, right? Much, much better. Take the gimmies beforehand. So if you do take a cab driver, of course, when you get to the building, there's going to be a receptionist, there's going to be a secretary, there's going to be people directing you. Instead of just saying which way, hey, how are you? How's it going? I'm here for the interview. There have been a lot of people. Like simple questions. Oftentimes they'll ask you how you're feeling. And I would say, truthfully, I'm really nervous. They'd laugh or, you're going to do fine. Something, and responding off, things that I've said in the past. If you hear me crying in there, you'll know that it really did not go well. So please call the police, have an escort ready. I'm going to need someone to take me home so no one ever hears about this. They laugh. You feel better because you've gotten a laugh. You're going to sit down then. Talk to the other applicants, right? Most people sit there and they're just weird and uncomfortable. Make some small talk. That is going to set you up so much better to get in that room when you walk in front of the interviewer. There'll be a real smile on your face. You're going to feel much more comfortable. You won't have the jitters as much in the shaking hands or the quavering voice because you'll have worked all of that stuff out previous. So, so, so important. So ask yourself, where are those moments in your life? Where are the people that you maybe aren't seeing? You're not using them as practice rounds, as free reps to get stronger in this charisma muscle area of your life. Take them, right? Don't make it just about the big performance. Can you imagine if any sort of athlete or any performer or anybody didn't practice prior to showing up on the big day or the big night? It would be ludicrous. Yet people expect this to come from their social skills and they're surprised when, wow, I don't really feel confident now. Plus, there are always opportunities, right? This has happened to me in my life before. I can't even remember all of the cool things that have come from this, but you never know who is around you. So I've had an experience, one that comes to mind is back when I was in school, I was just talking to the people in front of me and behind me at the Safeway, which is where I used to do my grocery shopping. And I wound up getting an invitation to come in and work at, I think it was like the World Bank or something, which was completely outside of my level of interest. But the guy behind me happened to be a director there, enjoyed conversing with me for 5 minutes, was like, hey, if you're ever looking for anything, like, here's my card, would love to have you, seem like a good kid. If I were smarter, probably I would have taken the internship there, but at that time, I just wanted to spend my summers doing really fun things. Point is, opportunities are everywhere. Most people don't realize this because they never make the effort to actually engage people that they're not like, oh, this is a someone. So take the freebies. It makes all the difference.